Jose Mourinho has been unveiled as Manchester United manager. He's had his first press conference today at Carrington. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to run through all the main talking points that he's gone through and just give my opinion on them and just why I think they're important. First things first, Mourinho is Mourinho. For me, that's the most assured press conference I've seen since Fergie, really. David Moyes was always a deer in headlights. Louis van Gaal, he had the press conference. He had control of the media at the start, but he lost it, and his broken English always made it somewhat difficult for him to portray himself. But Jose Mourinho is a man who's done it before. He's done it at Chelsea, Madrid, Inter, and now he's doing it at United. You know, he hasn't called Manchester United his dream job, but he's made it clear that Man United is the biggest job in the Premier League, and he's happy to be here. He didn't say it's his dream job, he said it's his reality. And that's the reality for Manchester United fans right now, is that Jose Mourinho is our manager. It's still something that I'm not struggling to get my head round, but it's just weird to have come full circle in 3 years, because 3 years ago, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want Jose Mourinho after Fergie. But 3 years later, so much has changed that he's the right man for the job right now. Something else he's talked about, which I found quite hilarious, is basically accidentally revealed that we've signed Henrik Mkhitaryan. He was talking, he was asked by a reporter about the signings he's made, what else is coming, and he's turned to the press officer and he said, we've officially got 3 signings, haven't we? And she said, no, 2. And then everybody laughed and he said, no, 3. So we all know that that's Mkhitaryan. He was in Manchester on Monday for a medical, and hopefully we get an announcement this week, because something that Jose Mourinho has made abundantly clear in this conference is he wants his transfer business done early. And obviously we've already got Eric Bailly, we've already got Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and it's only the first week of July. Hopefully we'll have Mkhitaryan by the end of this week, and then Mourinho goes on to talk about any more signings he's making, and he's made it clear he wants 1 more signing. He wants 4 specialist signings this summer. If we look at Eric Bailly, a centre-back, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, a striker, Henrik Mkhitaryan, a winger, can play in the middle, but basically a winger. They're 3 very big problem points in our squad from last season that he's gone to fix straight away with great signings. Who's that 4th one going to be? As you can see, up there, maybe it's Paul Pogba. And now Paul Pogba would be an unbelievable signing for Manchester United for 2 reasons. First of all, we let him go on a free. And a few years later, he's one of the best midfielders in the world. But the second point is that last little bit I said there. He is one of the best midfielders in the world. And at a time where there's money coming left, right and centre into the Premier League, Man United may as well spend it rather than sitting there and paying off the Glazers' debt. Yes, we would overpay for Pogba. Yes, it would probably be a world record fee. But would the fans really care about how much he cost? No. All we care about is the fact that we had signed Paul Pogba. So if you don't think that Pogba could potentially be that 4th specialist signing that Mourinho's talking about, who do you think it could be? Let me know in the comments below. What else are we talking about here? Typical Mourinho. He's aiming thinly veiled digs at both Van Gaal and Wenger, talking about how he doesn't want to rely on a philosophy, how his promotion of youth, which we'll come on to later, doesn't rely on injuries causing it. And he's also saying, he was asked by Martin Samuel about whether he's a manager who's under pressure because of what happened at Chelsea last year. Obviously, terrible season at Chelsea, got sacked. And he said, no, there's other managers in the Premier League who haven't won a title in 10 years. We all know he's talking about Arsene Wenger, and Wenger versus Mourinho is one of the biggest stories, I suppose. The rivalry they've had together, they've never really particularly been friends. I mean, Wenger's never beaten Mourinho in a game, so he hates Mourinho in terms of football. But this is Mourinho. This is what we know he's going to do all season, and it's something we've just got to get used to, whether you like it or not. You want to see a manager who's in control of himself, and he was very much in control of that media today. So that was really nice to see. And something that I also really enjoyed was getting a full explanation from Mourinho on Ryan Giggs and the situation that unfurled there. Now, what we've been told from the press is that, Mourinho froze Giggs out. He didn't want him anywhere near the club. He was just waiting him to leave, didn't even talk to him. Now, Mourinho has told us today Ryan Giggs wanted to be Manchester United manager. Made it very clear that that was his next ambition. And the board didn't want to give it to him. The board gave it to Mourinho, which I think was absolutely the correct decision. After Moyes and Van Gaal, we could not take that risk with Giggs, as romantic as it seemed on paper. And because of that clash of ambition, Giggs wanting the job, but Man United wanting to give it to Mourinho, Giggs had to make a decision of whether to stay at Manchester United. I'm not sure whether that would have been as an assistant manager, but in some role in the club. And he chose not to. And a nice little anecdote that Mourinho gave was that back when he was at Barcelona, he had 2 years left on his contract. He was assistant, but he left in order to pursue his own ambitions. And that's the decision that Giggs has made. And after two years in the shadow of Louis van Gaal, it's probably the biggest decision that Giggs has made at Manchester United, for him to leave. Ending 29-year association with the club, and he's now on his own 2 feet. He's going to go elsewhere, he's going to become a manager, and I hope that Giggs can nail it. I really do, because I'd love to see him back at Man United in the future. Who wouldn't? He's Mr. Manchester United. So it's very nice to hear Mourinho giving a nice explanation, nice, good explanation on Giggs. And he's also said he'd be welcome back at any time. Now, a major concern I had about Jose Mourinho coming to Manchester United would be what is he going to do with the youth players? And it's something that he really got asked directly, and something that Jose Mourinho, like me holding this book, came prepared for. He said that over his career, he has given 49 academy players their debuts in their club. Now, you can go and do a bit of research and find out who those 49 are. I don't. But Mourinho seems pretty confident that he's going to bring a mentality of playing young players at Manchester United and nothing that is solely driven by injuries only. Let me know in the comments whether you believe Mourinho, or are we just hearing some spiel here that he's not going to stick to. I really hope he does. Marcus Rashford last season, shining light, young player, only came through because he got an opportunity, much like Harry Kane at Spurs. Young players deserve chances, and Man United have built their club on it. Like Ryan Giggs, prime example. Something else that Mourinho was talking about, Wayne Rooney's position next season. He's basically saying that he's not going to be a number 9, he's not going to be a number 10, but he's definitely 100% not going to be a number 6, a deep-lying midfielder like he played for England at the Euros. Mourinho's saying that the hardest job in football is to score goals, and he sees Rooney as a goal scorer. Whether that is more of as a number 8 position, a number 9, a number 10, it sounds like Rooney's going to be used in between and where necessary, rather than having a fixed position. Whereas I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic is just going to be a number 9, nothing else. Rooney is going to have to drop in where needed for Mourinho. And Mourinho loves Rooney. He tried to sign him at Chelsea, he couldn't. But he's a player who I think could thrive under Mourinho. And I really hope he does, because I don't think Rooney's going anywhere now that Mourinho's come in. So I want to see the best of Rooney coming again. I want to see him scoring 30 goals a season again. Don't know whether that is even possible. And a final point, he's basically said that he's not going to focus on Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. Something that everybody is talking about is the war of Manchester that's coming. We've got Guardiola, we've got Mourinho. It's just like Barcelona and Real Madrid, but it's in Manchester this time. It's going to be one of the biggest focus points of this season. City against United, Guardiola against Mourinho. But it's something that Mourinho is going to try and avoid because of how competitive the Premier League is. That's probably a smart move, because it is one of the most competitive leagues seasons that we're ever going to have is coming up next. Because you see like players like Crystal Palace are bidding 31 million for Christian Benteke, try to sign Batshuayi. They're getting good players, and all the teams outside the top 6 are getting much stronger. So United have got to get stronger. We've got stronger with Mourinho, with Ibrahimovic, with Mkhitaryan, with Bailey, and hopefully with another signing like Pogba. And who knows what's going to happen next season. Will Man United compete for the Premier League? Definitely. Will they win it? Hopefully. That's it for the reaction to Mourinho's first press conference as Manchester United manager. As always, drop a like on the video and subscribe to United People's TV if you're new. And we'll see you soon. Take it easy, Reds.